Hi everyone and welcome to Sam's Cool Colors. Today we're going to color in this page of Peppa Pig wearing a hat, scarf, and coat for the winter time. To do this, we're going to use 5 colors and I'll go through each one as we go along. I'll be using markers, but feel free to use anything you have in your art box. If you want to follow along with me, take a look in the description below where you'll see a link so you can download and print this page for yourself at home. So let's get started with our first color, which is going to be red. So I'll be using Ohuhu markers and we go along. I will tell you the color and also the number. So if you have these markers, you will see there's a number, but this is a regular red. So anything you have in your art box that has red, feel free to grab that. And this is number 11 for the Ohuhu markers. And there's a couple of spots where we're going to use our red. Let's first start out at the very top and use it on Peppa Pig's winter hat. So at the very top, you see the circle? Let's go ahead and use it on the top of that hat for Peppa Pig. So the nice thing about Peppa Pig is we're going to start using a few different shades of pink a little later on when we get to Peppa Pig's body. But for now, let's use red on both of the top parts of Peppa Pig's hat. So that circle, and then right over here, what we want to do is color in the bottom part of that hat with the same red. So I like to always color up and down and take our time just to make sure we're coloring it in nice and neat. So any red that you have, a regular red, will be perfect. So if you're using crayons or any other kind of marker or even colored pencils, just find your red in your art box and let's use that. So now that we have the top part of Peppa Pig's hat colored in, I actually want to use red to outline Peppa Pig's lips. So what do I mean by that? So you see this black line for Peppa Pig's lips. Let's use that as an outline and very carefully follow that same line. So what we want to do is just go around Peppa Pig's lips with that red color and follow that same shape. Because if you see Peppa Pig's mouth, it's like a red color. So let's go ahead and do that right here. And what you want to do is just try your very best to follow that same shape for Peppa Pig's lips. Very nice. Excellent work. Okay, great. So now that we have Peppa Pig's lips colored in red, let's move on down to Peppa Pig's winter coat. And what we're going to do with this red is let's use it on a few different places and color in Peppa Pig's coat in red as well. So here on the left side, you see her arm. Let's color in Peppa Pig's arm here with the coat in red. Right over here as well. This area here will also be part of Peppa Pig's coat. And in this area, let's just feel free to color that in with the same red. So just be sure to stay within the lines so you can have a beautiful coloring page at the very end. Very nice. Okay, so that's the first part of Peppa Pig's winter coat. Let's go here on the right and go around the buttons and do the same thing. Color in Peppa Pig's coat on the right side, just like that. And here you'll see the scarf. We're just going to color around that. And we're going to go up and down. You're all doing a fantastic job. So just take your time. And now what we want to do is the last piece we're going to use our red for is over here, which is Peppa Pig's right arm. Okay, beautiful. So now you can put your red aside and let's move on to our second color, which will be yellow. So here, any yellow you have in your art box, this will be number 35 for the Ohuhu coloring markers, but any yellow you have will work just fine. And what we want to do is actually use this at the very bottom. So let's color in Peppa Pig's yellow boots with this color. So go ahead and color that in. Take your time, just like so. And can't forget the second yellow boot. Peppa Pig is famous for wearing yellow boots, so we want to make sure we keep that on this coloring page. And that's it for your color yellow. So let's go ahead and move on to Peppa Pig's body and scarf. So the next color we will use is going to be a dark pink. So this particular color, the number is 89 if you happen to have the Oahu colors. If not, you can use any dark pink you may have, or even sort of a light purple. We're going to use this in a few different spots on Peppa Pig's body and on Peppa Pig's scarf. Let's start out by taking this dark pink color and using it to outline Peppa Pig's nose. So right over here, you see we have Peppa Pig's wonderful nose. Let's use this to just outline the circle there. And later on, we're going to use a lighter pink, a regular pink, to fill this in. But here, let's use this to outline those two circles for Peppa Pig's nose. And we can also use it on the outside of Peppa Pig's nose just to round it out. So you see, I'm just outlining that same shape. Nice and easy. Beautiful. And also, we want to make that circle for Peppa Pig's cheek. So let's go ahead here and just, as best as you can, let's make a round shape right over here, just like that. Okay, just like that, Peppa Pig's cheek, and we can color that in with that same color. So go ahead, and once you make that circle, you can go ahead and color it in. And feel free to pause if we're moving a little fast for you. Go ahead and pause and then just come right back and join us later on. So right there we have Peppa Pig's cheek with the circle. Very nice. And now let's go ahead and use this same color on a few different spots on Peppa Pig's scarf. So as you can see here, right, Peppa Pig scarf has a couple of patterns in it. There's a few different lines. So I want to make this as colorful as possible for us. So let's go ahead and use this on every other part of the scarf. So what I mean is, over here, you could use this color on the far left side of the scarf. And then when you get to that line, let's skip it for now, and we'll come back and color it in a little later and move on to the next section. So you can color this in with that same color. Let's skip this one and finish out over on the right side with that color. And then let's get the bottom of Peppa Pig scarf. So here we can color this same color here with this top line that is going down. And let's skip this one and let's go to the last one. So this is going to give us multiple colors on Peppa Pig scarf, which makes it look that much nicer at the end. So let's put this dark pink aside, and now let's grab our light pink. So if you have a lighter pink than the one you just used, this one will be number 28 on the Oahu colors. You can use that, and we're going to use this actually to color in the rest of Peppa Pig's body and face. So here, let's go ahead and start to color that in with that lighter pink. So when you have the lighter pink on the page next to the darker pink that we use, you see that the two come together and they are a little different. So that's the nice part about it. So if you only have one pink option in your art box, that's okay. Feel free to just use that one pink on all of the Peppa Pig areas that we're coloring in right now. That's okay too. You can use just that one color. So feel free to use what you have available in your art box and get creative. If you want to make it a totally different color, you can do that too. I always like to experiment with different colors all the time. So feel free to use a different color if you don't have a dark pink and a light pink. Just use any pink you may have. And around Peppa Pig's eyes, just be a little bit careful here. We don't want to color over the line. And as you see, I like to go up and down when I color in the same direction. So I suggest you do that too. It's a nice tip I like to always try to do with my coloring pages. It helps me to stay nice and neat. Okay, so now we're coloring around that circle that we made before, and try to color around it. Don't color on top of it. Try to color around it, because if you color on top of it, the markers or the crayons together blended will give you a different color. So you want to try to keep those colors separate from one another. You're all doing a terrific job. And we're almost done with Peppa Pig's face in that light pink color. And once we are finished here, we're going to move on to our final color. So for our last color, we're going to use a purple. So any color you have similar to this one, our number 77 for the Ohuhu markers, you can go ahead and grab that from your art box, and we're going to use that in a few different places together. We're going to use it to finish the rest of Peppa Pig's scarf where we left it white, and to color in Peppa Pig's gloves for the winter. So go ahead and grab that purple, and let's start out on the left side, coloring in Peppa Pig's glove on the left hand. And you could see the difference between this color and the color that we already have on Peppa Pig's scarf. So remember, we left these spaces empty earlier. Let's go back in and color those in with that dark purple. So anything you have in your art box that is a similar color to this one will be just fine. Or if you want to get extra creative and color in Peppa Pig's scarf with a different color, that's fun too. So go ahead and do that if you feel like doing that with this particular coloring page. So here we have 2 more spots for Peppa Pig's scarf and glove with this color. So just take your time. And if you want to do what I'm doing, you see how I outline it first and then I color it in? You could feel free to do that because it helps you to stay in the line a little easier. Okay, and our last spot is Peppa Pig's right glove. We can't forget that. So go ahead and color that in. All right. So now we finished coloring in our page of Peppa Pig wearing a winter hat, gloves, scarf, and coat using 5 colors. If you had a great time today, please like and subscribe for more episodes in the future. I look forward to seeing you all next time.